Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great night. Hey, we're gonna dive into the conversation about macros. So what are macros? How do I eat my macros? How do I calculate my macros? Do I have to eat all of my macros? What in the world are macros? That conversation comes up a lot, and the conversation is, I don't quite understand it, or why do I have to eat so much fat, or what do my macros have to be if I'm keto? So that's the conversation for tonight. If you are just, obviously you're just tuning in, but my name is Stephanie. Nice to meet you. If you're brand new, post new below, and I would love to connect with you and figure out your goals. If you're not brand new and you've been here for a while, or even if you haven't been here for a while, post where you're tuning in from. So we are currently in Kentucky, and I just put my kids to bed. So we've got 4 daughters, and we homeschool, and we share our life as far as what low carb or keto, or how a family eats better, or what it means to eat keto or low carb on the road or traveling or in home, or it doesn't matter, right? We just share our tips and tricks, recipes, everything that we've learned over the last 4 years with you. So we are definitely not perfect, but I believe that it's a lifestyle approach, right? And if you approach this as a lifestyle or anything, right? However you choose to eat. There's a lot of people on here that don't eat strict keto, nor do you have to. The lifestyle that's going to work for you, some people are plant-based, some people are Whole30, some people are vegan, whatever, right? The lifestyle that's going to work for you is the one that you will stick with long-term, right? Like, you want to be able to stick with something not for a short period of time. Oftentimes people get it in their head of like, I've got to get to this vacation, or I'm going to get married, or I've got to go here, and they give them the short little window span of time to lose whatever it is they want. Most people on here, let's be real. Why are you here? Like, what made you like the page? Did you want fat loss? I mean, benefits wise, was it focus? Like for me, when we dove into this lifestyle, I just wanted energy. That's it. Like for me, my husband wanted fat loss. I didn't believe him for 2 years, but when he handed me something, the energy that it gave me, and I didn't need a nap, and I haven't needed a nap for years, has completely shifted everything, but also learning the power of ketones of the brain. So with all of that, we're gonna dive into macros. I want people to understand something. Again, if you're new, post new below, and if you're not new, or it doesn't really matter if you're not new, where are you tuning in from? Also, press the share button, because sharing is caring, and I can promise you there's a lot of people in your same situation, maybe somebody down the street, somebody at your office, and maybe they will see that you're on this same journey and they might want to join you, and you might have an accountability partner in your backyard that you didn't even know. So this is what we're going to talk about. A lot of people, we're going to start with kind of like macros 101. Okay, so what are macros? Macros are your fats, your proteins, and your carbs. So what that means is your macros are made up of all of the food that you eat, right? A lot of people go, I don't quite get it. So this is your macros, okay? Some people would even say, people in the expert space, people that are in the keto space would say they actually believe that ketones may become a 4th macronutrient. So we could say, hey, let's look at your macros for the day. Let's look at how much fat you're eating, how much protein, how much carbs, and how many ketones. Is this backwards? I thought I flipped the camera, but if I didn't, I'm so sorry that it's backwards and it says TAF. And if it's not backwards, hopefully it's not. So your macros, when you're eating, let's just start off right away with a keto diet, okay? A lot of people hear keto and they go, oh my goodness, that is high fat, that is bacon and butter, that is unhealthy, right? Like that's kind of where it started. I will tell you, from when we started this journey 4 years ago till now, the conversation has gone crazy, and people are understanding that ketones are actually a fuel source. So a long time ago, people thought, oh, bacon and butter are super unhealthy, but what people are realizing is a true ketogenic diet is eating good quality meat, good high fats, right? Vegetables and salads, and there's lots of, you're not gonna live off bacon and butter. But if you were to eat a ketogenic diet, I'm just gonna give you a very brief understanding. You would want to, for example, 7 years ago, my husband came home one day and he said, I'm gonna go keto. And I was like, that's awesome. What's keto? And he's like putting butter in his coffee and he's blending all of this stuff up and he's eating all of this crazy fat. And I was like, babe, we are supposed to be eating margarine. Everything that we eat comes from a box and it says low fat, so it's good. Like my cookies say low fat, so it should be fine. My Little Debbie snacks, I think one time or another said low fat. It should be fine, right? And that's just the mentality of the crazy brainwash that we all were, like, not all, I shouldn't globalize, that some of us were raised with, right? I mean, am I the only one? Were you raised with thinking like low fat, no fat, healthy? So when my husband did this, I was like, I don't understand. And I watched him for a long time. And this is what I learned. Somebody that's going to eat a ketogenic diet, okay? And this doesn't have to be you, but I'm going to show you something. You're going to eat approximately 80% fat, okay? 15% protein and 5% carbs. That's approximations. It could be like 75, 20, 5. If my math is correct, 80, 15, 5. Is that right? Yes. Okay. So if you do this, right, and if you do it for a certain amount of time, hopefully your body will get rid of all of the stored carbs, all of the sugar, everything that your body has been maybe fueled off of, because all of our bodies run off of something. So what I need you to understand is food is fuel. You may be fueling your body with a pot of coffee, energy drinks, protein shakes, and all of the food that you're eating. So what people need to understand is you look at, like I say, food is fuel, but it really is. This is what your body's running off of, a strict ketogenic diet. So for those of you who are like, what are macros? Macros are your fats, proteins, and carbs. Are you following? Okay. If you were to do the standard ketogenic diet, this is approximately what it would look like. So you would go into like a My Tracker, you would track your food, and your goal would to be to have your daily calories and the daily, what you take in to be mostly fat, moderate protein, low carb. If you do that, your body hopefully will create ketones. Ketones are a fuel source, okay? Your body can make them or you can drink them. We're gonna talk about making them first. Not everybody's bodies will make them. I actually got to sit at a conference, it was in the spring, and one of the doctors came on and she was talking about how she did a ton of research on certain people and how actually, no matter how hard they tried, their bodies actually wouldn't make ketones. It was fascinating. She actually took the product, had her people take the product, and it helped them immensely. So when you're in ketosis, your body is using stored fat as fuel, okay? So it's fat loss. People, once they're in ketosis for a certain amount of time, they have this crazy energy because you're running off of ketones. It's a clean fuel. So like even when you're running off of energy drinks, some people will go, oh, I feel jittery or hyper, even like pots of coffee. Like you're not jittery. Ketones are a fuel source. So they're brain focus, their appetite control, their better mood. People talk about amazing sleep. I call it my mom fuel, right? Like you feel good. How many people feel good when they're in ketosis? I mean, give me some hearts, like raise your hand. So with all of that said, here's a little bit of what I've been finding is a misunderstanding, okay? When somebody dives into eating keto, they think, oh my goodness, I can eat whatever I want as long as it's fat. So I have people that go, oh, I can eat that, it's fat, and they shove fat bombs in their face. Oh, I can eat that, it's fat. It's just extra butter on my steak, right? Like 3 tablespoons of butter. Oh, it's fine. I'll have that 4th cup of like fat coffee, which is like black coffee with butter and maybe coconut oil and heavy cream. Like that's fine. It's keto, right? Have you ever asked yourself like, or have you ever found yourself saying, it's just keto, it's fine? But my question to you is, were you hungry? Were you just eating because it was convenient? Were you eating because your friends were eating and you wanted to have something to munch on? Were you eating because that keto snack was in the office and so it's fine? And so the biggest misconception is you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want, but that's where these people are going, I'm eating keto and it's not working. My question to you is, what's not working? So I want everybody to step back for a minute and I want you to understand that food is fuel and you don't have to force feed yourself, okay? So again, if you're just hopping on real quick before we dive into force feeding yourself, if you're brand new, I want to know that you're new, okay? So post new below, share the video, press the share button, and tag a friend, because I can promise you, you're not the only one in this boat. So we are not force feeding ourselves. So if you wake up in the morning, we were all taught that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. Guess what? You were lied to. You want to know who created that? The cereal company. They got us all, right? So what I need you to know is this. If you get up and you are like, I want to intermittent fast. I'm not hungry. Intermittent fasting means you don't eat till lunch. You just extend your sleeping it through later in the day. It's completely fine. It's actually really good for you. You might drink water. You might drink black coffee. You might drink your ketones. These don't break your fast, okay? You go to lunch and you're like, yeah, I feel pretty good, but I'm just going to get a salad, take the croutons off. I'll add some avocado. That's a good fat. You're hungry. It's lunchtime. I'll have some chicken. I'll add like a good fat ranch. And then for dinner, you come home and you have some veggies and some meats and a salad. But let's say you were at your work day and you were like, I'm not hungry, but it's been 2 hours. Maybe I should eat. The biggest misconception is a lot of people think, I've got to eat every 2 hours to get my metabolism up. Oops. Not true. Not true. Not true. So your body will tell you when you're hungry. Okay? Your body will tell you, and we also need to make sure we're aware of that. So oftentimes we do this whole emotional eating out of habit. The clock says it's time to eat. So what I want you to understand is when you dive into this lifestyle, here's my goal for you right away. Are you ready? This is how I help people start. If you want to, you can get a tracker for your food. So you can go to MyFitnessPal. You can use like a carb tracker. Just go Google and type in keto calculator, okay? And all I recommend for people to do to get a good visual is to track all of your food in one day. MyFitnessPal is really easy. Track all of your food in one day. At the end of the day, there's like a little nutrition button. Hit the button and it will show you your fats, your proteins, and your carbs, okay? All I want you to do is look at it and go, oh, I ate like 60 or 70% fat. I had really low carbs, moderate protein. It wasn't perfect, but that's really good. Or what you thought you were eating was good, and then you'll see what you were tracking and you might go, oh, I have some work to do. And that's okay, right? Do that for a couple days. Don't watch the tracker on your, don't go type it in and go, oh shoot, I can eat 20 more grams of fat. I better go eat a fat bomb. Don't do that. I want you to solely track your food to get a good visual of wherever you're at, and we'll tweak it, okay? It will show you if you need a little bit more fat. It'll show you where you're at, and we'll help you with that. So this is how I started and how I help a lot of people start. All I want you to do if you're brand new is if you want to track for visual reasons, awesome, we can tweak it from there. But all I want people to do is simply lower their carbs. So this isn't about everybody on here being strict keto. We've got people that are low carb. We've got people that call themselves lazy keto. We've got people that say that they're dirty keto. But all I want you to do, oops, can you see that? Is lower your carbs. What does that look like? That means for breakfast, you don't have the cereal. You don't have the bagel. You don't have the donut. That means for breakfast, you have nothing. You might intermittent fast, or you've got bacon, egg, sausage, some coffee, okay? Or ketones. For lunch, you're gonna take the bun off the burger. Maybe you go out to eat with your coworkers and you grab a taco salad and not the soft shell massive burrito, okay? So buns off the burgers, croutons off the salad, or grab a lettuce wrap. That's your lunch. For dinner, just get rid of the pasta and the potatoes. Add some extra protein. You could add some avocado. You could add, if you can handle dairy, not everybody can, you could add a little bit of dairy. You could have a salad or extra vegetables. That's it. That's super, super easy. Does everybody agree that that could be super easy without feeling overwhelmed? Are you listening? I'm trying to figure out if you're listening. Okay, so the first thing I have people do is start with lowering their carbs. And guess what? As we're doing that, I want you to very, very, very much pay attention to how much water you're drinking. I know this sounds crazy, and a lot of people go, I drink plenty of water, but I bet you probably don't drink as much water as you think. So we're gonna lower our carbs, we're gonna up our water intake, keep a water bottle with you at all times. So as soon as my water bottle's out, I make sure I fill it. And so if you need to visually help with that, put the amount of rubber bands on that water bottle to meet the amount of times you need to fill the water bottle up. So if you need to fill that water bottle up, like the water bottle I have, I think I fill up 4 times. You could put 4 rubber bands on it. Every time I fill it up, take a rubber band off. And then when your rubber bands are gone, you know you met your water intake. Everybody's a little different, but what I've experienced and what I've been told is most people need about half their body weight in ounces, okay? So what do you weigh? Cut it in half, do that in ounces, start there. Does this make sense? Lower your carbs, up your water. After you feel really good about that, you want to know what we're going to do? We're just going to look at if there's any, like I know we said lowering your carbs, but I want to take out like, look at the sugar, the excess sugar that you're doing. So maybe you're adding like sugar to your coffee. Let's look at what you're putting in your coffee, okay? Maybe you are sneaking in a couple little snacks throughout the day. So we're going to look at the sugar stuff, and I tell people get that out of your house. So that's step 3. So first, lowering the carbs, upping the water, whatever little sweet treats you have in your home that might cause you to like at the end of the night, like maybe you're watching me and you're eating some Oreos, and there's no judgment. Like this page is all about taking your black robe off. Do you get it? Sometimes people will send like mad faces on here and I'm like, you take your black robe off. Do you guys understand? No judgment, okay? We're not here to judge. You're not the judge, I'm not the judge. We're here to help each other on our pursuit of better, whatever our better is. Like, what's yours? So like for me, it's a better mom, to be a better wife, to be a better leader, right? To be a better friend. And so so I would challenge you that if there are things in your cupboard or in your fridge, if there's ice cream and cookies and whatever it is for you, like for me, I love chips, right? And so like, I can't keep those favorite chips around. So we've got Quest chips actually that just came from Amazon in the mail today. And so I would say find those 3 things in your home that you're like, shoot, I need to get those out. Your family will be fine. They can have them at the birthday party. Get them out of your house. Okay. Then next, after that, we are going to increase some good fats. So once you feel like your carbs are lower, the reason you want to actually get good fats in your system is it actually helps you stay full longer. So this isn't about eating all of the fat that you want, but this means like what everybody names some good fats. We've got, I love Kerrygold butter. Okay. I love to cook with that. I love avocados. If you can handle dairy, there's a lot of great dairy options. Not everybody can. Okay. And it often will cause women to reach a plateau. So we're going to up our fats, and that doesn't mean you're shoving fat bombs in your face. When we first started this, I actually could handle quite a bit of dairy. I could eat heavy cream. I was making these crazy fat bombs and all of these desserts that were really dairy heavy. And within probably a year, I actually can't eat it anymore. It makes me feel bloated, probably because I lowered everything. So my body wasn't quite like affected by the dairy. Like I was working on not eating carbs and not eating sugar. So eggs, yolk, yes, you're right, like good fatty meat. And so there are lots of ways to get fats in besides shoving dairy in your face, especially women. Like the fat bombs might be there to have 1, not 5. Does this make sense? So, and then after that, after this process, guess what? We can tweak it depending on how you feel. That's what I tell people to do. Lower your carbs, drink more water, eventually up your fats, right? Add a few things in there, but don't go to MyFitnessPal and in 1 week transform everything to where you're like, I'm eating 80% fat and then I don't feel good and my stomach is upset and there's so much going on down there and I'm in the bathroom, right? Like, or here's the deal. There's probably like 3% of people that I've met that can do keto long-term, like very strict keto without feeling restricted or rigid or falling out of ketosis. The point is to get your body to make ketones. Not everybody's bodies will. Okay. Then there's this aspect of low carb. A lot of people go, well, what in the world is low carb and what's the difference? Okay. Low carb could be considered. It could be considered, I would say, I used to say like 50 carbs or under. I've heard people say anywhere from 60 to 70 carbs or under. I tell most people if you can stick to like 50 a day, that's great. But like, okay, let's say low carb. Low carb is you're not obsessed about the macros. You're not getting overwhelmed with tracking everything in a tracker. Okay. So, but what you're doing is you're taking the buns off the burgers, the croutons off the salad. You're grabbing a lettuce wrap. You're having, a better sugar replacement in your coffee. You cut out the pasta. You added more salads in, but you're not caught up in the tracking everything and being like a lot of let's just face it. Is there any moms on here? When my husband started doing this diet, I remember watching him weigh his food on a little scale to the ounce. I watched him track everything in the thing. I watched him go in and out of ketosis nutritionally. And I was like, man, at this time, I had 4 babies. My oldest daughter, she turns 12 tomorrow. What in the world? Like when my husband started this, she was probably 6. I had a 6-year-old, a a 4-year-old, not even an 18-month-old, and a brand new baby. No way. No way. And so I watched him, but I also learned as I watched him. And then when I joined him 2 years after that, like, it was awesome. I felt amazing. And I took it one day at a time. Like, I started with breakfast. And once the cereal boxes were gone, then I didn't buy cereal. Once we were done with the Eggo my waffle things, I didn't buy the Eggo waffles, right? And I just simply said, okay, food is fuel. So in the mornings, I fuel my body with eggs, bacon, sausage. I don't eat or I drink ketones. That's it. For lunch, I thought, I just stopped buying the bread. I stopped buying the buns. And so I just made deli meat, and we had cheese sticks, and we had veggie trays, and I started eating salad, right? For supper, I legitimately stopped making the pasta and the lasagnas, and I just tweaked them and made every meal that I used to make. I figured out a way to make it lower carb. Not perfect. A lot of people go, are your kids keto? And I go, my kids are low carb. We don't keep the Oreos. We don't keep the snacks. We don't keep the ice cream. We have the best foods that we can have in our home. We are not all organic, by the way. So like, and this isn't about having like the best of everything, because not everybody can afford that. Like, there are great grocery stores. There are farmers markets and places that you can get great vegetables and better organic foods when you can, but it's not about being perfect. I love to say, and we love to say here, don't mess up good for perfect. Oftentimes people are waiting for the perfect time to start this. There is no perfect time to start this. The time is right now, and you make the better choice tomorrow, and then you make the better choice the next day. And if you slip up, oh well, you get back up and you keep going, okay? There's a good, a better, and a best option. A good option is take the bun off that McDonald's burger. That's a good option, right? A better option is maybe grab a better high quality burger. The best option is you've got your own cow in the backyard. You've butchered the cow only ate grass, and you made that meat, and you knew exactly what was in it, and you made your own burger. Good, better, best. You're supposed to be sleeping.
I know. Why do I?
No. You say. I'll talk to you in a second. So I hope this is making sense. So that's how our family started. Do not get messed up with macros. Macros do play a big part in it. If you want to go crazy strict keto and you want to dive into this, then you do that, okay? Some people want to, some people don't. Does not mean you can't be successful. It does not mean you're going to fail if you don't do that. Think about foods as fuel, and before you put it in your mouth, is it going to help or hurt? So like, that would be the last thing I would say. And you know what? Here's the deal, you guys. Like, if you don't have something to help you every single day, like some people go, well, I live off of coffee. That's awesome, right? Great. If you don't have something to get you back on track, like I'll tell people, if you're sitting at night watching TV, if I was sitting right here looking at my TV on the wall, oftentimes people are sitting here and they're bored and they're going, oh, I should eat something. Go upstairs and brush your teeth, shut the kitchen, grab a glass of water, right? There's things you can do to get those cravings out. But what I want you to understand is before you eat something, think of your goals, okay? What do I want? Why am I here? This isn't short term. This is like a lifestyle. Long term, I want to feel best forever and ever, okay? So is it helping? So just think to yourself, before you grab that snack in the employee lounge, before you grab that birthday cake, which here's the deal, it's not bad. And it's not bad to have a treat. It does not mean our family does not eat pizza. I don't feel very good when I eat pizza, and I hate ice cream because it hurts my stomach. So, but what I want you, I actually like sushi. So that would be like, if I'm like, if I want to have something real good, I want some sushi. So, yes, I'll be upstairs in 1 second. Is it helping or hurting, right? So like the donut at the birthday party, I would go, which one is it going to be? Is it going to help me be 1% better today? Is it going to help me on my journey? Or is it going to make me go and not feel good? I can always go back. I can always come back. This is not a fail. The only way it's a fail is if I quit, okay? So think to yourself, is that donut helping? No. Is that really yummy salad that I added no croutons on, that I added a piece of salmon and avocado and some delicious bacon, is that helping? Yeah, that's a good choice. And so that's all I wanted you to think about. Don't mess up good for perfect. Don't get in your head. Don't wait to take action. There's no perfect time and you're never going to have it perfect. So all you have to do is go, the next meal is breakfast. What is my best option that I have access to, or what do I need to go grab so that I fuel my body so I can keep focused for the rest of my day? That's it. And drink more water and move your body. Last thing I will tell you is this, and the only reason I'm telling you this is because this is what I drank. My husband handed me a packet, and I drank this the very first day before I ever dove into eating keto, And all I did was to grab a pack of ketones. I drank this. I didn't need a nap that day. And I thought, I'm not quite sure what that was, but I felt great. And so that's where I started. It was super, super simple. For the last 4 years, I've been drinking ketones. I absolutely love it. But I think I love the education behind it because most people think keto and they think, oh, this is a fad. We'll see how long this lasts. I'm not quite sure. Guess what? The ketogenic diet has been around for years and years and years and years, and it actually started with a medical application. Did you know that? Now, what they're finding and research suggests that ketones actually, the most powerful thing that ketones do is fuel your brain. Your brain prefers ketones. There's always going to be glucose in your body. There's certain things in your body that actually need glucose, and that's okay. And ketones fuel everything else. Ketones help with muscle preservation. We've got athletes all over the United States and actually all over the world using ketones to help with their performance, right? Ketones help with the way you take in oxygen. Ketones help with sleep. Ketones help with mood, and so much more. You could just go to PubMed and type in ketones and blah, and you'd probably find something absolutely amazing. So all I wanted to hop on here and say is, don't mess up good for perfect. If you're diving into this space, guess what? Like, message me. I'd love to chat. I can give you some food ideas. I can give you how we started. I'll make a few fun little lists for you. That's it. If you're new, post new below. Where are you tuning in from? If you want to try my mom, I call it my mom fuel. I mail it out every single day. There's lots of them that go out every single day. Post 10 in the comments and you will get to watch a fun little video that explains actually what ketones do. So I drink them. They put me in ketosis in under an hour instead of like my husband tracking all of his food and having his body make his own ketones anywhere from like 3 to 5 to 7 days. Okay. Your body doesn't instantly make ketones, and this does not replace that. This will not make your body not make ketones. This will amplify what you're doing. So you can just, if you're brand new starting, this is like your life preserver. It gets your head above the water. It gives you the energy. It gives you the focus. It gives you the appetite. And then you and I are going to chat and we're going to eat better. Okay. We're going to come up with a game plan and we're going to do that. Maybe you're already like low carb. You feel great, but you just need the energy. This is phenomenal to where I tell people, I haven't taken a nap in 4 years, and that says something, right? And I was up early this morning with our dog, homeschooled our kids. We did a lot of crazy things today, and I'm still talking to you. And, or you might go, well, I'm already in ketosis. What's the benefits? So is my husband. Like 4 years ago, my husband came home when this arrived at our door. It didn't look like this, but when it arrived at our door, he said, I'm so excited. And he said, Stephanie, I'm just letting you know, if this company is real and if they lead with education and if they actually care about making people better, he's like, this is going to change people's lives forever. And he said, it's not fair because I've been tracking my ketones and tracking my food, and he was doing it the hard way for 2 years, right? In and out of ketosis, tracking his food, like coming back down because I made lasagna that day. So he was like, it's not fair, and I'm excited to see how many people it helps. So my husband would prick his finger because that's the best way you should check your ketones. If you really want to know if you're in ketosis, you need a blood meter. Go on Amazon and type in KetoMojo, M-O-J-O, okay? Track his blood. He came home, I remember, he came home from the office. He was so excited. This is when we lived in Minnesota all the time. And he was like, okay, he pricked his finger. It was a 1.2. He shook up his ketones back then. He stayed home for that hour. Right before he left for work, he pricked his finger and he was like, well, we'll see. And this is the first time that there was nothing out there that you could drink that was ketones. And he tested his ketones and it was at like I don't remember the exact number, like a 3.4. And he was like, oh my goodness. So then he went to work and he was like texting me all day. He's like, I feel so good. He's like, I felt good eating keto and I feel amazing. And so I will tell you this, what we've learned over the last 4 years between, again, I've already said it, the power of ketones. Like most people want fat loss. Like who's here for fat loss? Let's be real. Most people. But all of the other benefits that come after the fat loss are so powerful that people go, oh yeah, the fat loss is great. And bam, 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 right? And so it's so fun to help so many of you. And so I've got lots of research. There's lots of things I would love to share with you. Reach out and connect with me and I will share more with you, okay? And so that's all I have to say. I would love to chat with you more. Again, If you want a foods list, if you're brand new, post new below. We will chat and just have a lot of fun together. If you want to try the Mom Fuel, post 10 below. Or if you're brand new and you're just watching now, go back to the beginning because we talked all about macros, fats, proteins, carbs, how to track it, why to track it, what it does. Or post 10 and I'll get these out in the morning. So we will chat with you very, very soon. Ask all your questions. Have a great night and we'll talk to you later.